Hi, this is Alex from devstories.eu. Snowflake and Snowpark Python, episode 14 of 17. Stop paying for an external orchestration server just to run Python scripts that tell Snowflake what to do. Authoring stored procedures brings that control flow directly into the data platform. People often confuse stored procedures with user-defined functions, or UDFs. A UDF is not meant for orchestration. UDFs return values inside a query and transform data row by row. Stored procedures are completely different. They execute entire scripts, run multiple queries, and handle procedural control flow. You use them to orchestrate tasks, not to calculate column values. To create a stored procedure in Snowpark Python, you write a standard Python function. The crucial requirement is the first argument of that function. It must always be a Snowpark session object. This session is your active link to the database. When your procedure runs, it uses this session to execute SQL statements, build data frames, and read or write data. To tell Snowflake this function is a stored procedure, you place the Sprock decorator directly above your function definition. The decorator acts as the configuration layer. You use it to specify the return type of your procedure and any third-party Python packages your code needs to run. When you execute the registration code, Snowflake takes your Python function, packages it along with its dependencies, and registers it in Snowflake. From then on, the logic lives inside the database and executes on Snowflake compute. Think about a nightly data pipeline. Your process needs to create a temporary table, load raw data into it, run a series of multi-step transformations, and finally clean up the temporary objects. If you run this from an external server, your Python code sends a command over the network, waits for Snowflake to finish, gets the result back, and sends the next command. By writing this exact same Python logic as a stored procedure, the entire script executes inside Snowflake. It uses the session object to step through the table creations and data frame transformations natively. There is zero network latency between the orchestration logic and the data it manipulates. While a stored procedure does not return a value per row like a UDF, it still returns a single value when the script finishes. You define this return type when you set up the Sprock decorator. Often, this is a simple string confirming success, an integer representing the total rows processed, or even a tabular result showing an execution log. You have choices for how you deploy this code. You can define and run an anonymous procedure dynamically in a Python script if you only need it for a single session. For automated pipelines, you register it as a permanent object. Snowflake stores the definition so any authorized user, external application, or scheduled task can call it later. Here is the key insight. Writing a Snowpark Python stored procedure means you're treating Snowflake as an application runtime, not just a storage layer. You're moving the brain of your orchestration right next to the data it controls. If you enjoy the show and want to support the work we do, you can find us by searching for devstories.eu on Patreon. That's all for this one. Thanks for listening and keep building.